Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I still remember, and I will not forget, that spectacle of ass kissing coming from a lot of parliamentarians of Western countries, and not only, in face of this Zelensky, mania, Zelensky mania, I want to call it, craziness. It was so despicable how countries rolled the red carpet for this unknown clown just because the order was that he was supposed to be admired and taken into consideration and seen as a serious general leader of the Ukrainians. It was very embarrassing, and I hope you keep that in mind as well. They didn't have to do that. Remember how he showed up in various parliaments, virtually on a little big screen, telling everybody what they should do and how much they should give in order to defend their freedoms. It was such a display of, I don't even know how I should put it. It's you would do this if the other person would have power over you, life and death power. Otherwise, what could be the reason why you are like that? I don't believe that those guys were like that, like so stupid, not to understand what's going on. But that not to understand what's going on, that is what bothers me. I don't think they were told, each and every guy, hey, you gotta do this. You gotta show up in the parliament. You gotta applaud like seals over there, and you have to look very impressed by what this weasel clown from Ukraine is talking about. I don't think it was necessary. That's the problem. They knew what they had to do. How? Well, probably they know what the real power is, what the real force is. I don't know. Otherwise, how do you explain? Do you think that all believed in Zelensky? Like they didn't know? That means they're idiots. And that's also a problem. So Zelensky's last attempt to have a parliament suck his lollipop was the Swiss parliament. Well, some on the right of the spectrum, which is the biggest political party, the majority, it seems like, in the parliament, in the lower house at least, they boycotted this guy's pathetic speech and shaming everybody who's not going to give him. So let me show you what's going on here. Russia Today reports on the 15th of June 2023. Zelensky boycotted in Swiss parliament. The largest party in the country's legislature has walked out on an address by the Ukrainian leader. By the leader of Ukraine, by the guy in charge of Ukraine. Let's put it the way it is. They said they will do that. Ukraine. I don't understand these guys. Why did Russia Today put this right here? I mean, anyway, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky addressed the Swiss parliament via video link on Thursday, today, urging lawmakers to revise the country's policies on arms exports and rallying more support in the fight with Russia. The speech sparked controversy even before it happened, with the parliament's largest faction, the People's Party, boycotting it as perceived interference in Swiss affairs. They perceived it as this guy trying to interfere and influence Switzerland, which they still think that they are perceived as neutral. Switzerland is not neutral anymore, and the Russians already said that, according to the Russians. And facts attest that, not because the Russians said so. In his address, Zelensky urged MPs to allow export and re-exports of Swiss-made war material to Ukraine and to take further action against Russian oligarchs. And I'm quoting, I know there is a discussion in Switzerland about the exportation of war material to protect and defend Ukraine. That would be vital. That means if you don't do it, we die. We need weapons so we can restore peace in Ukraine, Zelensky asserted. What a noble thought, don't you think? Who would be against this? Nobody, if you don't know what's going on. The speech was ignored by the right-wing People's Party, which holds 53 seats in the 200-seat lower house. Oh, what, 1/4. The National Council, as well as 6 mandates in the 46-seat upper house, the Council of States. The party vowed to boycott the address immediately after it was announced last month, arguing it would constitute gross interference in Switzerland's domestic affairs. And I'm quoting, "We understand that the Ukrainian president wants to do everything to defend Ukraine, but we must not allow ourselves to be put under pressure." By whom? "On the issue of sanctions or arms deliveries," end quote. People's Party MP Alfred Heer said. Inviting guest speakers is a rare occurrence for the Swiss legislature, with only 24 such events since the 1970s. Moreover, Zelensky's speech was the first ever address to a parliament made by a foreign leader over video link. Switzerland's long-standing image, that's a good word, image, as a neutral country, has already been somewhat tarnished by Bern's decision to join the West's Ukraine-related sanctions against Russia. Still, the country has consistently rejected requests to allow re-exports of Swiss-made weaponry to Kiev, despite mounting pressure from other Western nations, including the US. Earlier this month, the National Council shut down a bill that would have allowed such shipments, rejecting proposed amendments to the National War Material Act. The legislation, known as the Lex Ukraine, called for a temporary waiver until the end of 2025 that would have allowed the handover of Swiss-made war material, specifically to Kiev. So, still you have 52 out of 200, and the rest got the memo. Why? I don't know, my friends, you tell me. If you really think that, how should I put it? You see, we have that evil guy, the most evil guy in the world history, called Adolf. And Adolf did not succeed, did not try, was unable to turn Switzerland from its neutrality. He did not invade Switzerland, he did not, maybe he pressured here and there, but he did not do it. These guys nowadays were able to take Switzerland out of neutrality. How? By allowing to impose sanctions on certain things of Russia. Now, these guys have more power than that evil guy. Probably because these guys are the forces of good, and good always prevails, the movies tell us. Yeah, the movies tell us. Well, my friends, take it however you want. It's embarrassing how countries with pretense of being, having their history, their own independent foreign policy, and being proud of their political achievements and historical achievements, like Switzerland, is just caving in to this kind of moral blackmail or guilt building, shaming tactics. Very low, very low. Maybe some people, really believe the narrative, but I doubt that all the other ones, 148 out of the 200, where all of them from all the other parties just felt in a certain way, and all the other 52 felt in a different way. It's impossible. From those 148, from the 200, must have been some that realized, wait a minute, this is a weasel here. This guy just wants money here, just got something. None of them is like an order. It's too, you can't all think the same way about the issue. You have variations, but here you have like an order, 52 versus 148. What does it tell you? That they're independent thinkers? No, they're not. that means they are listening to something else. What's that something else? Well, you know what it is. I know what it is. Freedom and democracy. Now you know. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.